Hey! I need answers, all right? Right now. How'd that liquid metal thing know where to intercept me? Huh? Where'd it come from? And who the hell's the skin job? What the hell is going on?
Sorry, we were a little busy with the whole life and death combat thing, and then you attacked Pops.
You named it?
Hello, Calories. It is nice to meet you.
Are you kidding me?
It's now day 5 of my reviewing of the Terminator movies, so we're talking Terminator Genisys. So we're going to start by talking about the good. Now, for the first thing I can mention with the good is that this is a love letter kind of to the Terminator franchise because you're getting two things. You're getting almost a retelling partially of the original film as well as this own different event of the first film. So you're getting part of the first film, which is why if you love the original, there's a reason why you might have this one in higher regards than some of the others, because it's kind of a retelling of the first film. And also, they set up a really interesting world to go into. This was yet another victim of there was supposed to be a trilogy of these films. When it comes to the Terminator sequels after 3, now Terminator Salvation, Genisys, and Dark Fate all managed to become movies that were supposed to be a trilogy, and all 3 managed to screw up at that because Salvation didn't do well with critics. Terminator Genisys really didn't do well with critics and audiences, so they decided to cancel that. And Terminator Dark Fate just the most of the audience had an uproar within the first 5 minutes, and it bombed colossally and is now known as one of the biggest box office bombs of the century. So they scrapped any ideas for sequels after that. So it's actually pretty interesting for that. So you can definitely tell because there's an extra scene that points out that we could get more of these movies, but it's not very good. And Emilia Clarke, I believe is her name, as Sarah Connor. I like her. She's very nice in the role as Sarah Connor. I like her. And also Arnold is way better in this movie than he is in some of the other movies. Like Terminator 3, way better than he was in T3. Because this time he's not, because T3 he's the butt end of all the jokes. This film he gets to either tell some of the jokes or he's being very serious and also pretty funny. And I like the dynamic of how they're making him more of a father figure to Sarah in this movie. That's interesting, and how he keeps on saying, "Did you guys breed yet?" That is hilarious. I always laughed at that because that is so funny. Did you guys breed yet? Or I think that's what he said. Did you guys breed? Because that's how he says it. Because that's how John Connor's born. But this also the plotline of this movie is it had some unique ideas that it did, and some will say that it fell flat on its face. And we're gonna start by talking about the bad now, so I can actually talk about some of that stuff. The first thing you have to talk about is some extremely bad miscastings. First of all, you have to mention Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese. Awful complete miscast. I'm not a very big. You need to stop letting Jai Courtney in on these big budget franchises. He's managed to make a mockery of 2 big franchises, both in the 5th installment, with A Good Day to Die Hard being the 5th installment in the Die Hard franchise, and Terminator Genisys being the 5th installment in the Terminator franchise. Both films were colossal critic failures, and both made the fans of both franchises extremely upset and angry. And Jai Courtney, I can't stand him in either of these movies. He's more tolerable probably in Genisys than he is in A Good Day to Die Hard, but that's not saying much because A Good Day to Die Hard is awful. So this film also, John Connor, complete miscast that they have. Oh, that is so they keep disrespecting John. No one can replace Eddie Furlong as John Connor. Christian Bale is amazing John Connor. I wouldn't say that he can go toe-to-toe with Edward Furlong, but he's amazing as John Connor. But they ruin him yet again with this, and it just feels so disrespectful to the John Connor that they keep doing this, to keep falling flat on their face. And also the making John Connor a Terminator. Nope. That also they fell flat on their face with that too. That is such a idiotic decision. Making John Connor a Terminator. That is so random. They didn't need to do that. It just makes it so disrespectful. Of all the movies I would say that I don't want to be canon, this is the second one that I would say I don't want to be canon. I would pick Rise of the Machines to not be canon the most because of what they do at the end, because of how they ruin the ending for Judgment Day. But this film I also really do not like. Ugh. This film just put a really bad taste in my mouth. I was sure this one was going to be my least favorite, and for a while I was like, oh, this film is actually not that bad. And then I was like, oh, yeah, this film is really that bad. And if you have this at the bottom, I completely understand. This film is really bad, I can say. It's really bad. I don't like it. I don't like Genisys or Rise of the Machines. They are both very disrespectful to their canon, and they both really don't respect their source material. They're trying to make jokes too much, and it just comes at the expense of the movie. So if I had to rate this, I would give this a 4.9 out of 10, I think. 4.9 out of 10. That's around the same spot I did with Rise of the Machines. I do think Rise of the Machines is worse, but so I would give this a D, I think. Whatever I said to Rise of the Machines, I might have given it a D minus or D. All I know is I did knock on that movie pretty hard. I also am knocking on this one just as hard. Not as hard, though. But I will say this movie is not very entertaining. Well, I mean, it has some moments that are so bad they're good and it's entertaining for a bit of the movie. Then it just falls off the rails like a train. And it's just a movie that I consider very mediocre. So I would not recommend it. So don't watch this film if you don't like films that are actually good in this franchise, like Salvation or Dark Fate. So this is not a film I would recommend you watch. So it's not very good at all in my opinion. So that is just my take on Terminator Genisys. Let me know down below. Do you love this movie? Do you hate this movie like most people? Or are you just mixed on it? So let me know down below in the let me know down below in the comment section. Please like and subscribe if you're not already. And I will be releasing my review for Terminator Dark Fate tomorrow. And the day after that, I will be releasing my ranking of all 6 Terminator movies from the worst to the best. So thank you all so much for watching this. Please like and subscribe, and
I'll be back.